In other news, Education Secretary Betsy Devos faces a public outcry and calls to revoke the Obama-era school discipline guidance. One America's Kristian Rouz has more.
The Department of Education faces mounting calls to rescind Obama-era federal overreaches into the nation's school system. Academics, educators and social commentators are urging Education Secretary Betsy Devos to repeal a regulation which allows federal investigations of schools if they discipline more non-white students than white students. Observers say such policies amount to politicization of the education system.
Number one, do they believe that misbehavior is culturally determined and therefore acceptable if you come from a particular culture or skin color? Therefore, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just genetically in you. Stop the balls and fight black futures! Stop the balls!
The policy is inspired by the radical ideology of Black Lives Matter, an organization openly defiant and hostile to law enforcement. Leftist radicals presume racial discrepancies in school suspensions provide evidence the school disciplinary system is inherently racist. However, the Obama-era guidance has actually produced an increase in delinquent behavior in schools and made classrooms a more dangerous place.
We know that students of color are far more likely than their white classmates to find themselves in trouble with the law. If a student gets arrested, he's almost twice as likely to drop out of school. By making sure our criminal justice system doesn't just function as a pipeline for underfunded schools to overcrowded jails, we can help young men of color stay out of prison.
According to a study from the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, Obama-era discipline guidance produced a significant decrease in school suspensions, dismantled school control over disciplinary policies, and exposed students and teachers to violent crime. Authors of the study observed the Obama administration's ideological dogma about race forced schools to refuse to suspend students who have earned a suspension. They called on Secretary Devos to rescind the policy and return the power to discipline students to local communities. Meanwhile, leftist ideologists have celebrated the declining suspension rates among non-white students at the cost of school safety. Instead of punishing young delinquents in accordance with school discipline rules, the Obama administration recommended conflict resolution, counseling and positive intervention for what it's worth.
We've got to find venues where we can educate parents about expectations of appropriate behavior and what that does or doesn't mean for consequences for their children.
Critics say artificial racial quotas imposed on school discipline resulted in many delinquent youths discovering they could get away with any wrongdoing due to their ethnicity.
Do they believe that the union people that have been hired across this country to run our government-funded operation here that we call the public school system, that they're all racists? That they are administering discipline in racially inappropriate ways?
Despite the public outcry, abolishing this Obama-era regulation might be a lengthy process due to Democrat obstruction and widespread attempts to slander the regulation as racism. Kristian, Rouz, One American News.